I said I plan a Paris honeymoon. I've never even been to Europe.
AI that with Copilot.
AI that with a Copilot Plus PC from Best Buy.
You're ready for college. We're ready to help.
How's it going, guys? My name is Tavares, and today
2, 1, here we go!
Behind this door
AC Cars is making a major American company.
Now to a terrifying midair scare for superstar Katy Perry. A giant butterfly prop she was riding in malfunctioned, dropping towards the crowd as she was flying above concert goers in San Francisco. It's just the latest in a series of close calls at big-name shows. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, a terrifying moment in San Francisco. Pop star Katy Perry performing mid-air when her giant butterfly prop malfunctions.
She came over right in front of us, and all of a sudden,
Audio.
See details like you've never seen them before. LG OLED Evo AI. Test. Audio.
Now to a terrifying.
Ever get a sign the universe is trying to tell you something? At University of Phoenix, you could earn your competency-based master's degree for under $11K in less than a year. Get started at University of Phoenix.
And he's not restricted like some of these contracts.
Another one coming.
Now to a terrifying midair scare for superstar Katy Perry. A giant butterfly
Ever get a sign the universe is trying to tell you something?
The worlds of politics and entertainment.
UCAR.
The NBA's
Welcome to
The power is just unrelenting and almost indescribable.
Hi, I'm Brad Frowns from Chevrolet Marketing, and today I'm here with Josh Holder on the introduction of the all-new Corvette ZR1. Josh, we understand the team's been super excited about this, but before we dive into ZR1, can we just talk a little bit about the journey that we've been on and what Corvette has meant over the last couple of years leading up to this point?
We planned the ZR1 from the beginning. So with the Stingray, followed by the track-ready Z06, followed by the all-weather capability of the E-Ray, the hardware that goes in each of those cars was planned from the beginning, which is why the LT7 evolved from the LT6. It's still got that flat plane crank, high revving magic, but this time the equipped turbochargers really bring the power to these unbelievable levels.
And you know, when you sit and you look at the car, it just looks fast, right? Like every Corvette. How important is it to also keep the design cues that have made this generation of Corvette so special?
Well, keeping the foundation lets us keep the fantastic mid-engine proportions. The cues on the ZR1 expand upon its performance. So everything you see on the outside of the ZR1 has some functional purpose, and many of them have more than one functional purpose. The intercooler heat exchanger in the hood, not only does it cool the charge air, but it also helps create front downforce.
Let's talk about the numbers. Can you give us a rundown of what ZR1's bringing to the table here?
Brad, the numbers are incredible. 1,064 horsepower, more than 800 foot-pounds of torque from 3,000 RPM to 6,500 RPM, more than 1,000 pounds of downforce at top speed, and a quarter-mile time well under 10 seconds. It's going to be the fastest Corvette that we've ever done.
Okay, all right, well, that's an important one here. Let's just take a step back. Fastest Corvette ever. Are you confirming 212 plus today?
Significantly faster than 212 miles an hour. It's absolutely incredible.
And when you start to think about the acceleration, how does that feel?
It's really mind-blowing. The first time you get in the car, you get this experience that's like, oh my God, what did I just feel? But it doesn't go away. It never disappoints. You never get used to this kind of power. It's always special. It's always enjoyable. So the ZR1 represents the first ever factory turbocharged Corvette.
When you think about turbochargers, some might say, hey, there's going to be some lag. You know, it takes a little bit of time to spool up. What are some of the things that you all did as a team to mitigate that?
That's a great question, Brad. And these turbochargers are massive, 76 millimeter compressors. So in the design of the turbocharger, we phase the exhaust cans in the engine to keep turbo speed as high as possible. We change emission timing, throttle position, and we have a special wastegate that's electronically controlled. So we can use those features to keep turbo speeds as high as possible. So when you're exercising the ZR1 on the twisty roads, your favorite place to drive, or even on the track, that massive power and torque is always available. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, Josh, thanks so much for the time today. Really appreciate it. I think everyone's going to be extremely excited about what the 2025 Corvette ZR1 has to offer. You guys really rocked it. Thanks for giving us a vehicle like this.
Thank you, Brad. We can't wait to share it with the world. Can't wait to share it with the world.
The time today. Really appreciate it. I think everyone's going to be extremely excited about what the 2025 Corvette ZR1 has to offer. You guys really rocked it. Thanks for giving us a vehicle like this.
Thank you, Brad. We can't wait to share it with the world.
view car.
Looking like study time.
Yeah, except I can't find the right lecture notes.
Oh, your laptop can find it. Power of Intel inside.
Cool. I wonder if I could find my roommate.
Here. Find it faster with the new Copilot Plus PC powered by Intel at Best Buy.
Finally tonight, the special anniversary and account.
Have a surprise.
Okay. Tu peux pas fumer à l'intérieur? Il en avait truc Bugatti, tu vois. C'est beau. Oui, salut, c'est Fabrice. Salut. J'enlève les poids après en dessous.
See details like you've never seen them before. LG OLED Evo AI.
Joy, alin ba? Kau lang ba? Sama ka, lukman ka. Guys, careful. Guys, ayo. Guys, move back. Guys, move back a bit.
If you've been sitting on a big idea and you're finally ready to launch that business that you've been dreaming about, I've got something you need to hear. Every day I talk to small business owners and creators who are ready to make moves, but they're stuck. Not because they don't have a great idea, but because they don't know where to start. And honestly, I get it. The legal stuff, setting up your LLC, making sure you're compliant, it can feel overwhelming. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to be. LegalZoom makes it easy to start your business the right way. Whether you're launching a freelance gig, an e-commerce brand, or a creative business, LegalZoom gives you step-by-step tools to set up your LLC quickly and confidently. Here's what I love. If you're someone who wants to DIY it, LegalZoom's tools guide you through the process so that you know you're doing it right. And if you have questions, they have experts on hand to help you out. It's peace of mind and time saved so you can focus on exciting parts of your business, not the paperwork. Starting your LLC isn't just about checking a box, it's about creating a solid foundation for your business, something that protects you, makes you look professional, and sets you up for success. So if 2025 is the year that you
This is the new Spectre Black Badge, the most powerful Rolls-Royce ever built. And in the case of this one, probably the most purple as well. In this video today, we're going to be finding out how fast it is on an actual racetrack. We're going to be finding out if its new, more aggressive character has ruined its waftability on the road. And we're going to be poking around every nook and cranny of that very colourful interior to find out if this really is a car worth close to £500,000. And we're also going to be talking to the CEO, Chris Brownridge, to find out what this Black Badge business is all about. So like the standard car, we have 2 electric motors, one on each axle for 4-wheel drive, and in normal mode it produces 577 horsepower. That's the same as the standard Spectre. However, we now have a new Infinity mode. Infinity, by the way, that is the symbol for the Black Badge sub-brand, and when you hit that button on the steering wheel, it unlocks an extra 73 horsepower, taking the total to 650 horsepower. But there's more, because there's also another mode called Spirited mode. This boosts torque from 660 to 793 pounds-feet and is essentially launch control. Yep, launch control in a Rolls-Royce.
The ability to unlock extra performance is said to be inspired by the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine that powered Spitfires in the Second World War and allowed pilots to call on bursts of extra thrust to escape sticky situations. Anyway, as luck would have it, we have a racetrack to ourselves specifically to put this to the test.
Okay, so Rolls-Royce claim that this car can do 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.1 seconds, so that's 3/10 faster than the standard Spectre, and is frankly outrageous for a car that weighs, well, almost 3 tons. But before we do the full launch control, see if we can get 4.1 seconds, I'm going to try 0 to 60 just in standard mode. So 577 horsepower, same amount of power as the standard Spectre, and see what we get on this cheap, hastily procured 0 to 60 app I've got here on my phone. So foot on the brake, car in D, and off we go. That is still quite accelerative. 4.4 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Bang on what it should do. That is the claimed 0 to 60 for the standard Spectre, and we had the same amount of power as the standard Spectre. This is all making sense. All right, so here we go. We're going to stop on the line and we'll try that again. We'll put it in Infinity mode, which unlocks all the power. We'll start our 0 to 60 going. You stomp on the brake, you stomp on the accelerator. It says sprint active. The car starts vibrating and off we go. Yes, my neck is in slightly more pain than it was before, and we've done it in 3.5 seconds apparently. I'm not sure that app's very accurate, but you get the idea. It is faster and it feels all the more extraordinary doing it in a Rolls-Royce because there's just eerie silence. You can actually switch on something called Rolls-Royce sound. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a blast of that now so you can hear what that's like. This is Rolls-Royce sound. So when you accelerate, this kind of whooshy orchestral crescendo, which is actually quite satisfying, but it's much better to have it off. And as I say, you just get this eerie, silent shove and a sense of a lot of mass moving in that direction very quickly. So that's the bit of the video where I show that a very powerful electric car is very fast in a straight line. But seeing as we're on a racetrack, should we go and find some corners?
But before we torture some tyres and burn a few electrons, a few notes on what else has changed under the skin.
As we all know, Rolls-Royce doesn't like to go into too much engineering detail, bit crass and all that, so the only information that's been offered about the chassis changes is that there's a little bit more weight in the steering, they've increased the roll stabilisation, and they've stiffened up the dampers, mainly, they say, to reduce squat under acceleration and dive under braking. Total rubbish or the truth? Let's find out. Okay, so let's just get this out the way nice and early. What Rolls-Royce hasn't done here is turned the Spectre into a Ferrari 12-cylinder rival. This is still a massive, nearly 3-ton EV super coupe, but what they have done is created a car that controls its mass so much better. So let's go through all the different elements first to tell you what I'm feeling as I lob it around this racetrack. There's the understeer. You cannot beat physics, especially when the track
So Koenigsegg shut down 11 miles of highway.
Whoa.
Yeah, 11 miles. So,
Take that, Volkswagen.
Yeah. And they needed tires because...
If 4 tailpipes aren't enough, Bugatti has a solution. 8. Images of the Tourbillon Equipe per Sang show wild aerodynamic tweaks and an excessive exhaust setup. But it'll cost you. According to the Bugatti Tourbillon registry, the Equipe per Sang package adds $240,000 to the Tourbillon's $4 million price tag. For that, you get a new front bumper, a massive rear diffuser, an adaptive wing with small fins, and a matte red and exposed carbon finish. But the real spectacle? 8 tailpipes. That's one for every 2 cylinders of the 1,775 horsepower V16 hybrid. It's unclear if the exhaust flow is truly separate or just split for drama, but at $30,000 per pipe, it's priced like art. Bugatti hasn't confirmed details, but history suggests this is just the start of its wild customization journey.
Introducing Gemini in Google Docs, AI that helps teams write, brainstorm, and revise, so there's less staring at blank pages and more time for important tasks. Get that draft written in minutes with Gemini for Google Workspace.
Honestly, you just see the post.
It's awesome. It's so awesome. It's so cool. I mean, it's so awesome. 2025 Chevy Corvette ZR1 presents a little bit of a conundrum because its goals are ridiculous, it destroys them, and what is the competition? A low-flying fighter jet, maybe? Now we're talking. We're here at Gingerman Raceway in Michigan, and this morning it was raining, and rainy and like 55 degrees is not the context for the Corvette ZR1. I'm sure some people will end up in that sort of weather, those sort of conditions, and I can tell you that you'll be able to make your way home as long as you just pretend that you're driving on ice. But now it's cleared up, it's warm and dry, and we're gonna have a little bit more of a chance to see what happens when you stuff 1,064 horsepower into a Corvette. I can tell you some of the numbers are just totally ridiculous. 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds. Like, that would be fast for any car to get to 60. That's 100. How about 100 to 160 in 6.7 seconds? That also would be a very quick car, just 0 to 60. The ZR1 will spot you 100 miles an hour and start from there. This car ran the quarter mile in 9.5 seconds. 9.5 seconds. 0 to 60 in 2.2, which matches the 911 Turbo, which is all-wheel drive. Still less than 4,000 pounds, even with all of this.
I mean,
Starting a business isn't just about ideas. There's a huge gap between merely having an idea and getting it off the ground. That's why I use LegalZoom, so I can focus on what I do best and let them handle the legal side of things. To put it plainly, LegalZoom helps make your business official and help you stay legally compliant.
it's silly. If you've got a Z06 and you're thinking of slapping a pair of turbos on it and calling it a ZR1, it's not quite that simple. The LT7 has its own unique intake. It's got a whole separate second fuel injection system. It's got port injection and direct injection. The cooling system is vastly improved. Everything's strengthened. The transmission is beefed up. There's a new aero package, the ZTK for the ZR1, that has up to 1,200 pounds of downforce at top speed. Oh, and let's talk about top speed. 233 miles per hour. There's a top speed mode that you have to do a little dance with the buttons to get into that basically tells the car, okay, we're about to go straight very, very quickly. This car with the Max Attack Aero package doesn't have that high of a top speed. It's only maybe 225 or so. We were talking to the Corvette guys about how they developed this engine and whether they were shooting for 1,000 horsepower and just went over the mark by a little bit. And they said, no, we were just trying to get as much as we could get. And that's where it ended up. So this seemingly random number, 1,064 horsepower, it's oddly specific, but it's true. Jesus! Okay. I mean, I was trying not to look at that, but that was like 40 to 110 or so. Just like that. Now, one daunting thing about the ZR1, I will say, now that it's dried out, its braking and handling are both spectacular, but that can also be said of the Z06. So it's not that different from a Z06 in those respects, but the power is just on another level from pretty much anything you can buy. I mean, this is like a Bugatti Veyron level of horsepower, more than that, but rear wheel drive. Thank goodness it's got sticky tires. This thing sounds so good. I mean, I was watching it from the outside and it's just making all the right noises. It howls, it's got some bass to it. The turbos are whistling. The anti-lag system, which uses speed sensors on the turbos and electrically actuated wastegates, keeps the boost spooling even when you're off the throttle. So you hear that whee! The turbos are still spinning even when you're off the gas. So they're right back ready when you get back into it. But it's almost like this car is as fun to watch outside as it is to drive. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but still, I wish I could watch it. I'm in here driving and I'm reminded of when Kanye was asked if he had, one regret. He said, man, it's that I'll never be able to see a Kanye concert because I'm up here giving it. Going back for at least probably the prior 20 years, every time Chevy comes out with a new hyper vet, it's groundbreaking. When the Corvette Z06 came out in the C6 era, 505 horsepower, a lightweight car, 7,000 RPM, 7-liter V8. That was crazy. This engine, each side of it makes more power than that one did. And then when they came out with the C6 ZR1, 638 horsepower, they could barely put it down. Michelin came out with some stickier tires. They managed to get the acceleration times down a little bit compared to the Z06, but it was basically traction limited at that point. The C7, The Z06 was 650 horsepower, that ZR1 was 755. And a Chevy engineer back then told us, when you get in the 650 horsepower Z06, at first you're like, whoa, this is a crazy amount of power. I can't believe we built this thing. And then after a week, you're like, yeah, I could use another 100 horsepower. He said the ZR1, you never get in and think, it could use another 100 horsepower. And yet here we are. They gave it another 100 horsepower, and then another 100 horsepower, and then another 100 horsepower beyond that, and then another 9. And somehow, it's putting it down. It just goes to show if the Corvette had to become mid-engine, this would have been impossible. It would have been a mess. The ZR1 is slightly less practical than other Corvettes. Yes, it comes with the Targa roof in carbon fiber, and you can get a convertible version, but you lose the front trunk because that's now dedicated to cooling and aerodynamics. The air flows up through there, there's a radiator, so you can't go throwing your carry-on in there. I think it's a cliche to say when you're testing a car that's super high performance, exotic like this, that yes, as high as the limits are, it's accessible, it's docile, it's an everyday driver. You can drive a ZR1 every day, but it's going to present some challenges that you don't have with cars of a lesser nature. I mean, 1,064 horsepower is just a different animal. And even if it's not wet and slippery like it was this morning, even on a dry track, your braking point is so much different because you're going so much faster. I mean, the brakes are great, but the brakes are not as much better than the Z06's as the engine is. So you've got to kind of relearn how to drive this thing. And on the street, that's going to go double. I mean, you just have to respect the fact that you have that much power going through 2 tires. As sticky as they are, it's got a gauge over here that tells you the tire temperature. And it's actually reading that from inside the tires on the TPMS sensors. And you want to make sure that's reading warm before you start getting after it. Because when the tires are cold, it's real slithery out there in the ZR1. We've also noticed that, you know, adding a whole second fuel injection system gives it a mean thirst. I think on our last set of laps here at Gingerman, and this included driving back from town where we filled up, we got 3.5 miles per gallon, and the fuel tank isn't huge. It's kind of like a smart way to protect you from yourself. You can't stay out there lapping that long because you'll run out of gas. You're gonna have to come in and cool off and let the red mist dissipate while you fuel up. And that's a good thing. I think they did that on purpose. I think we all have a tendency with cars like this to say, well, if they could do this, then imagine what comes next. How are they going to top themselves? But I think in the case of the Corvette ZR1, maybe we should just savor the moment. Insane. This car is insane. I don't need any more coffee today. I don't need any coffee for the next month.
Chevrolet just revealed the first of 3 concept cars.
GM just revealed its all-new 2026 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1X, which will sit comfortably on top of the Corvette lineup. Its twin propulsion powertrain is its most powerful outgoing model ever, 1,250 combined horsepower. The mid-mounted LT7 twin-turbo V8 engine, the most powerful engine ever to come out of an American original equipment manufacturer's factory, produces a godly 1,064 horsepower and 828 pound-feet of torque. The front axle's compact electric motor makes up the difference. GM is claiming hypercar numbers here for the ZR1X. A quarter mile in under 9 seconds, a trap speed of over 150 miles per hour, and 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. The 2026 Chevy Corvette ZR1X claims to be the true American hypercar. It's offering the biggest brakes ever seen on a factory Corvette, and it's leaving its rear-wheel drive heritage in the dust with its E-Ray-inspired electric all-wheel drive unit. Price is currently unknown, but we do know it will be built tariff-free in America at the General Motors' Bowling Green assembly plant in Kentucky. Thanks for watching. Check out topspeed.com for more.
If you've been sitting on a big idea and you're finally ready to launch that business that you've been dreaming about, I've got something you need to hear. GM just revealed
There are many ways to get to Napa Valley. You can take a tour, you can travel into Napa Valley and stay overnight, but we decided to try something different. Energy.
Oh, okay, wait. Believe this. You ready? Oh, so what are...
So this is just for after.
Oh, okay.
It's honey, like kind of a chaser.
Okay.
The ferry departed out of and it was about an hour. I did pretty good considering I usually have most souvenirs and stuff there. But Lovski, making a reservation. They have tastings from 10 a.m.
We think of Blanche Noir as worthy.
Okay.
That means like when that happens, you go to the other side with the seat.
Yes.
Following the others. Oh, bro.
See details like you've never seen them before. LG OLED Evo AI.
Hello, nigga. Hello, nigga.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Why are you in here? Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Why are you in here?
This is not tough, my nigga. This is not tough.
Huh? What'd you say?
This is not tough.
Hold on. Hold on. What are you saying?
You think?
Have I seen Knocked Up? You ask, have I seen Knocked Up? You talking about the movie?
Nigga, what? Do this shit even work?
Your mic?
What? What mic? What mic? Alright, here.
Yeah, your microphone works, man.
What
It's
mic?
working, man. Your microphone.
What mic? What microphone?
Wish it didn't work.
Holy shit. The fuck am I looking at? Fucking thought this nigga's rage baiting me for.
Angry ass.
Yeah, they like fucking transform me. What the fuck is this? Trash ass cars.
I was just looking at the Corvette ZR1.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, fast. It's a Corvette. It's the high-end Corvette, the fastest they got right now. Hey, you could draw? Can you draw? I'm asking. Never mind.
Cable prices have your wallet against the ropes? Are you pinned down by too many streaming services? Well, with a
U-Car.
Today we show you how, if you want to clean your...
The best...
Answering this video, if you want to clean your grill properly, use Citrus Safe. It uses citrus to clean your grill. It is good.
Next chicken we got here is a hotel... The best moon base is no moon base. That's the kind of thing that Elon Musk would probably say if he was asked about how to build the first permanent settlement on the moon. And it may sound like typical business guru nonsense, but this particular Muskism is exactly what we need to actually move forward with establishing a human presence on
button, subscribe, and also leave a comment down below with your progress, and let's get started. We've got 13 engage your core here in order to work those abs. For the ab exercises. Next, bye. Cross over toe touches. Keep pushing, guys. Next, we're doing an extend followed by a crunch.
Introducing Gemini in Google Docs, AI that helps teams write, brainstorm, and revise, so there's less staring at blank pages and more time for important tasks. Get that draft written in minutes with Gemini for Google Workspace.
One leg back with your hands up and drive your knee forward into a crunch.
I don't know if this is going to work.
We've got a full tank of gas and nothing better to do.
This is a straight pipe SLS.
Get ready. Oh, there we go. Oh.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTop.nl. My name is Max, and today you join me on a very special day at Elmerhaus Automobieltechnik near Bremen in Germany. This is a Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. As you know, it is one of the coolest cars ever made. I haven't driven one in years, and well, we are here at the Autobahn to drive this freaking beast, because this is not stock. Could you please be quiet, doggies? Thank you. Because this is not stock. We will walk towards the back and you will see the first sign. It has a different exhaust. Actually, it has some valves that completely bypass all the silencers. So when I press that button, this is a straight piped SLS. And what's more, if I open this one, you can see that this is not stock anymore either. HMStuning.de, I don't know what that is, but this car has a supercharger on it and it has 1025 horsepower. Check out all this carbon, by the way. That's really cool. It has 1025 horsepower and 1099 Newton meters of torque. And I can make that even crazier for you guys. I haven't driven it. It's supposed to be insane. It is on Dunlop Sport Max race tires, which are, well, they are practically like semi-slicks for the street. These are the tires that you get on an SLS Black Series. And I haven't driven it, and this POV review is this car to see how it's going to work. So you are just going to join me on my first sort of reconnaissance tour of the Autobahn with this car, to see how crazy it is, to see how it drives, to see how fast it is. We're going to mount the Draggy right here, or my phone with the Draggy screen. I'm going to start this. Thank you. Start this. So I've got a button right here that opens the exhaust valve. So I can't open it with my phone anymore, but just listen to this. Closed. Open. Oh my god. It is crazy loud. Oh my god. Okay, we'll put it in Sport Plus. I'll keep the traction control on for now, because I really don't know what to expect. 1000 horsepower SLS. At least it has quite a long wheelbase, so. Oh, I don't know what this is. Something just dropped. Oh, that's the speaker screen, whatever. All right, here we go, guys. The guys told me not to floor it in.
Town Appliance is your destination for luxury, innovation, and great pricing. Whether it's one appliance or a complete remodel, our experts will help you find the perfect fit for your home. Our dedicated team ensures you get what you truly need, not just what you think you want. With brands like GE, Monogram, and Cafe that offer the best in style and performance. With over 40 years of experience as a family-owned business, we offer small-town courtesy with big city know-how. Come visit our showroom or townappliance.com.
In a corner, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for a bit more space, then I'm going to feed the power, see how the car responds, how the drivetrain responds, how the tires respond, because it is, I don't know, it's like a 10 degrees outside, so the tarmac is not that hot. Oh, it is busy. Oh, it's getting busy. So if the traffic is too heavy, I don't know, we'll just do a POV review of how crazy this car is and how it feels, but we'll see what happens. Little space behind me. Oh man, it sounds angry. Holy moly. Oh yes, that's fast. Jesus. Ooh, that's quick. Oh, I don't know why my voice always gets this high, but oh, it sounds very angry. All right. Here we go. Full throttle. Woo! That's awesome. So this car has a supercharger with the 6.2 liter V8. They actually had to install a fuel cooling system because the car was getting so hot, or whatever it was getting so hot, that the fuel started bubbling, and that's not what you want. Okay, here we go. Oh man, Jesus. I like it. I like it a lot. Man. Oh, I was actually scared before I got into this car because everyone told me, oh, be careful, it is really crazy. But I mean, as long as you're not a complete idiot, you can actually drive this car. Okay, so slowing down a bit. All right, here we go. 100 kilometers an hour. No, slower. All right, here we go. All right, that was a 6-second 100 to 200, which is quick. But I think it could be faster if I got a bit of a, you know, a run up. So I hope the traffic gods are with me today. All right, here we go. Reset. No, can be faster. Okay, come on, SLS. Do it with me. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Again, I pass 100 kilometers an hour before it has the right gear. They also reinforce the gearbox. The clutch pressure is higher, so the shifts are really aggressive. They are super aggressive, and that it feels really good. But I do notice that it has some trouble getting the right gear instantly. So I have to do it from slower even, so like 50 kilometers an hour, then floor it, and then get a 100 to 200 measurement, because it should be able to do it a bit quicker. Oh man, but what a car. What an exhilarating car. That soundtrack is just ridiculous. I'm sort of struggling to go for manual mode because I don't know how this transmission will handle that with this amount of power. So I'm just going to leave it in automatic mode just to make sure I'm not, you know, going to damage anything. Okay. No, doesn't really like that. Okay, maybe go for third gear. I still think it can be done quicker, but okay, let's just go. Let's see what we can do. Tank of gas and nothing better to do, so woo! I'm actually going to turn around here. Oh man! Before driving this car, but I have to say that, you know, as long as you're not a complete idiot, it's perfectly doable. Okay. Oh. What an insane thing. What a brute. Et tu, Brutus. Oh, yes. Get ready. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh man, this is awesome. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Oh. A little bit of wheel spin there. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this monstrous SLS. Okay, please move over, please, please. Yes, thank you. Oh, aggressive shifting. Here we go. Jesus Christ. 335 or something like that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no, this. I don't. Oh. Oh, SLS, I love you. Oh my god. I could have gone faster, but this truck or that truck behind me pulled out, so I was not going to take that risk. But my god, it is fast. Oh, what a car. What a machine. I'm actually amazed by how well this thing works, because, I mean, this is some serious tuning and, well, it works really well. Okay, let's go for some ESP sport mode. Yeah, get 3 free lanes. Third gear. Oh! has a 100 to 200 too, so I was under 100 kilometers an hour, below 100 kilometers an hour, and still it gripped. So those huge rear tires actually do their job really well. Oh my god. It's such an awesome car. Great job again by Elmer House. I mean, this thing is mental, but it works like a charm. And it fits me like a glove. I really, really want one. I think, oh man, I forgot how incredible this car is. It's so awesome. Oh yes. Alright, so let's close the valves. Let's see what happens. Ah, they open up. Okay, never mind. Oh man. Oh, I love it. I love this thing so much. Okay. I think I'm going to end it here, guys. That 335 kilometers.
Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight.
The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. You get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same.
4 university students. On 5.
Afrobeats is very different from emo rock or emo and instruments we use vibes. You know, I'm a water sign, I'm Cancer.
About it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alan Bethke from Subaru, and on behalf of our team, thank you for joining. Uncharted. It's a word that just seems to fit well with Subaru, doesn't it? Subaru owners are well known for loving the outdoors, for exploring it, and for wanting to protect it. For more than 5 decades, Subaru has empowered our owners to seek out their adventures with the capability of Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive. Over the years, our owners have used their Subarus to get lost, found, stuck, and unstuck. Along the way, Subaru owners have loved nature, treaded lightly, and made it their goal to coexist. That's the nature of Subaru owners, and that's why they're drawn to our brand. Subaru's long been a protector of the environment, while also enabling people to see more of it.
I'm so lost.
AI that with Copilot.
AI that with a Copilot Plus PC from Best Buy.
Oh, I thought we were going to recreate that photo.
Couldn't find it. AI that with Copilot. Oh.
AI that with a Copilot Plus PC from Best Buy.
And now, our newest EV, Uncharted, helps a new generation of people do more of that in a very Subaru-like way. The all-new 2026 Uncharted is the third EV from Subaru, joining the significantly updated and improved 26 model year Solterra and the all-new Trailseeker. Uncharted is designed to appeal to younger consumers. To start off with, it's got style. It's sporty, nimble, and fun to drive. It's our smallest EV, just around 1.5 inches longer than Crosstrek. But don't let that small size fool you. This Subaru packs a life. It is designed to appeal, joining the significantly updated and improved 26 model year Solterra
doesn't look bad.
and the all-new Trailseeker. Uncharted is designed to appeal to younger consumers. To start off with, it's got style. It's sporty, nimble, and fun to drive. It's our smallest EV, just around 1.5 inches longer than Crosstrek. But don't let that small size fool you. This Subaru packs a punch off-road and on-road. Off-road, you get the capability of Subaru all-wheel drive, 8.3 inches of ground clearance, and X mode settings for snow, dirt, and mud. On-road, the 74.7 kilowatt-hour battery delivers up to 338 horsepower and will reach 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, all while delivering up to an estimated 290 miles of range. That's better than direct competitors Hyundai Kona EV and Kia Niro EV. For consumers who are looking to maximize range, Solterra will also offer a front-wheel drive version in limited quantities. The premium front-wheel drive trim level has an estimated range of more than 300 miles, while also delivering 221 horsepower, all at a lower price point. There's certainly a lot to love about this all-new Subaru Uncharted. Let's take a closer look.
I was watching that.
Sporty, adventurous, electric. The all-new 2026 Subaru Uncharted is here. And with it, the safety, quality, longevity, and capability you expect and love from Subaru, as well as the power to make life more exhilarating. With up to 338 horsepower, available legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive, and available 20-inch wheels, the Subaru Uncharted is as fun to drive as it is functional. Like any Subaru, the Subaru Uncharted is capable off-road too, with 8.3 inches of ground clearance and available dual-function X mode. You can explore terrain beyond the capability of most electric vehicles. And wherever adventure leads, the Uncharted boasts pronounced contours, sporty lines, and a fastback roofline. Bold design is not exclusive to the exterior. The Subaru Uncharted combines comfort, style, function, and user-friendly technology. A digital instrument cluster and large high-definition 14-inch touchscreen with intuitive buttons puts navigation, music, and media at your fingertips. And dual wireless chargers not only keep your devices at full charge, but your console free of cords. All of it available beneath an epic panoramic glass roof. With up to 338 horsepower, legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive, and available 20-inch wheels, the Subaru Uncharted is as fun to drive as it is functional. Like any Subaru, the Subaru Uncharted is capable off-road too, with 8.3 inches of ground clearance and available dual-function X mode. You can explore terrain beyond the capability of most electric vehicles. And wherever adventure leads, the Uncharted boasts pronounced contours, sporty lines, and a fastback roofline. Bold design is not exclusive to the exterior. The Subaru Uncharted combines comfort, style, function, and user-friendly technology. A digital instrument cluster and large high-definition 14-inch touchscreen with intuitive buttons puts navigation, music, and media at your fingertips. And dual wireless chargers not only keep your devices at full charge, but your console free of cords. All of it available beneath an epic panoramic glass roof. Charging on the Uncharted is quick, with the ability to go from 10% to 80% in about 30 minutes. The battery preconditioning system brings similar charging speeds even in cold weather. And along with all new 2026 Subaru EVs, the Uncharted plugs into more than 15,000 high-speed chargers nationwide with North American charging standard compatibility. And not
Looking like study time.
Trying to.
Oh, your Lenovo Aura Edition can block online distractions. Sorry, is that distracting?
Just our roomy routine. Find your focus on a Lenovo laptop with the power of Intel inside at Best Buy.
1.9 seconds.
The most exotic versions of our cars, an ultimate vision of the Jaguar brand, if you like.
So the drivetrain of this car is fully electric and features an amazing free motor system inspired by the I-Pace and the Formula E Jaguar racing car. It has 750 kilowatts of power and it will launch from 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds.
The car uses the same battery and motor technology that we use in Formula E. Vision GT is a blue sky design, so we're not limited by anything.
Class dismissed.
Your time is valuable. Don't spend it in courses you've already taken.
Class.
Creator on Fiverr.
The brand's new content reached countless feet.
Can I get the audio?
Reggie amazed everyone by dodging that cork and is now referred to as the One. Fiverr, hire a freelancer today.
It's not bad.
Prices all around are going up, but at Aaron's, get peace of mind by locking in low payments on furniture, appliances, and electronics. You can start with 1 penny now and pay as you go. Your payment won't budge no matter what happens tomorrow. Only at Aaron's.
Computers have the potential to be the most important, the most dangerous, and potential to be the most important, the most dangerous, and the most unpredictable invention of our lifetime. They can even become all three of those things all at the same time. We hear this term come up every now and again. It sounds very futuristic and speculative, but quantum computers are very real. They exist right now, and they are on the verge of becoming a big part of our daily lives. Luckily, you don't need to be a physicist to understand the role that these quantum machines could play in changing the world as we know it, and I'm here to guide you into the quantum realm. Let's go. Okay, Marvel's Ant-Man has some questionable physics at best, but one thing that Professor Pym does have right is that the smaller things get, the stranger the laws of physics that govern them will become. This is important to keep in mind as we go along. You've probably seen a quantum computer before. It looks pretty weird, more like some kind of a cross between a golden chandelier and a giant squid than anything we traditionally associate with a computer, but that's largely because our current viewpoint is a little too narrow. This thing is also a computer, the first computer, actually, as in the first ever. It was found at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea and dates back to ancient Greece. It is known as the Antikythera mechanism. It was used to predict the movements of the sun, the moon, and the earth. It could have forecasted a solar eclipse decades in advance, the same as we can today. And this computer also looks pretty weird, although these shiny golden mechanisms you're seeing are just artistic recreations. The real artifact is actually a bunch of fragments encrusted with thousands of years' worth of ocean gunk. Calculating machines have taken many forms over the centuries that they've been used by humankind, so in many ways the quantum computer is just a next phase of evolution, but in many other ways it's not that at all. Modern computers as we know mankind, so in many ways the quantum computer is just a next phase of evolution, but in many other ways it's not that at all. Modern computers as we know them are defined by bits. A bit is the smallest unit of data that a computer can process and store. Bits are the building blocks of every piece of digital information you have ever experienced. A bit is always existing in one of two states, kind of like a switch. This is why we say that computers speak a binary language. The state of each bit is typically represented by either a 1 or a 0. But it can also be represented by on or off, up or down, left or right, as long as each bit is holding one of two potential values. This is binary computing. The physical manifestation of a bit is called a transistor. This is like an electronic switch, and again, it can exist in one of two potential states, on and off. So the more physical transistors you have, the more bits of information you can process at one time, which is an oversimplification, but it gets the point across. So we've been constantly trying transistors you have, the more bits of information you can process at one time, which is an oversimplification, but it gets the point across. So we've been constantly trying to make these transistors smaller and smaller over time so that we can fit more transistors into increasingly smaller devices. This old desktop calculator from the 1960s used 250 transistors. A current model iPhone has 19 billion transistors in its main processor chip alone. To accomplish this, we have reduced the size of the transistor down to a width of just 3 nanometers. This is too.
If you have been diagnosed with a pituitary adenoma or related tumor that may require surgery, this brief video describes the latest minimally invasive techniques our surgical team uses to achieve safe and effective tumor removal while promoting a rapid and more complete recovery. Endonasal endoscopic surgery uses the nostrils as natural corridors to remove pituitary adenomas and other midline skull base and brain tumors. This minimally invasive approach involves 2 surgeons working together using a high-definition endoscope and refined low-profile instrumentation. To reach the skull base and pituitary, mucosal incisions are made in the back of the nasal cavity that aim to preserve the blood supply to the mucosa and the sense of smell. The mucosa is elevated from the back of the nasal septum and sphenoid bone. The natural openings of the sphenoid are then widened and connected, creating a corridor to the skull base and pituitary. This allows the surgeon to maneuver 2 instruments within the sphenoid sinus while being illuminated and visualized by the endoscope. Next, the bone of the skull base over the tumor and pituitary gland is removed. Prior to opening the dura, which covers the pituitary gland and tumor, the Doppler probe is used to precisely localize the carotid arteries. The dura is then opened and lifted upward, revealing the pituitary tumor and compressed gland. For large tumors, such as the one shown here, the lower portion is removed first using microinstruments and suction. The remaining tumor is separated from the surrounding normal structures, most importantly, the compressed pituitary gland, to help preserve or restore its function. The entire cavity, including the walls of the cavernous sinus, is then carefully explored with angled endoscopes to make certain that all safely accessible tumor has been removed. Following removal, the tumor cavity and bony opening are typically covered with a small piece of harvested fat and bone, which are held in position with collagen matrix and tissue glue. The endonasal approach is also used for many midline skull base and brain tumors, such as meningiomas. Craniopharyngiomas, and clival chordomas. In such cases, more extensive skull base exposure and closure is usually required, including use of specialized vascular flaps to help prevent postoperative spinal fluid leaks. After endonasal endoscopic pituitary surgery, on average, most patients are out of the hospital within 48 hours and back to full activity within 2 to 3 weeks.
Small for the mind to truly comprehend 60s used 250 transistors. A current model iPhone has 19 billion transistors in its main processor chip alone. To accomplish this, we have reduced the size of the transistor down to a width of just 3 nanometers. This is too small for the mind to truly comprehend. It's only slightly wider than a strand of human DNA, which is 2.5 nanometers. It's possible that transistors could be reduced to the size of 1 nanometer by the end of this decade. There is a physical limitation on how small they can be, but this is too small for the processor chip alone. To accomplish this, we have reduced the size of the transistor down to a width of just 3 nanometers. This is too small for the main processor chip alone. To accomplish this, we have reduced the size of the transistor down to a width of just 3 nanometers. This is too small for the mind to truly comprehend. It's only slightly wider than a strand of human DNA, which is 2.5 nanometers. It's possible that transistors could be reduced to the size of 1 nanometer by the end of this decade. There is a physical limitation on how small they can be, but regardless of how small you make a transistor, it is still limited by the binary nature of the bit. It can only ever be in one of two states. And this is where quantum of how small you make transistors could be reduced to the size of 1 nanometer by the end of this decade. There is a physical limitation on how small they can be, but regardless of how small you make a transistor, it is still limited by the binary nature of the bit. It can only ever be in one of two states. And this is where quantum computers come into play. A quantum computer uses its own unit of data measurement, which is the qubit. And these things can get pretty weird because qubits also represent ones and zeros, just like traditional bits, but qubits can also represent both 1 and 0 at the same time. They are non-binary, and this essentially gives qubits the potential to hold vastly more information than traditional bits. And the physical manifestation of a qubit is achieved by manipulating the spin state of subatomic particles, either protons or electrons, causing them to spin up and down or left and right, creating two distinct states, your 1 and 0. Except quantum mechanics allows these subatomic particles to exist in multiple states simultaneously, so they can potentially be spinning in all directions all at once. Remember, the smaller things get, the stranger the laws that govern them. Here's what that looks like. If you put two bits together, we know that each bit will represent either a 1 or a 0. So regardless of the combination, you have 2 bits of information. But when you put 2 qubits together, you end up with the equivalent of 4 bits of information. This is because there are now 4 possible combinations of 1 and 0, because each qubit has the potential to be both values at the same time. So instead of just being 1, this is because regardless of the combination, the laws that govern them. Here's what that looks like. If you put 2 bits together, we know that each bit will represent either a 1 or a 0. So regardless of the combination, you have 2 bits of information. But when you put 2 qubits together, you end up with the equivalent of 4 bits of information. This is because there are now 4 possible combinations of 1 and 0, because each qubit has the potential to be both values at the same time. So instead of just being 1 and 0, the pair could also be 0 and 1 or 1 and 1 or 0, because put 2 qubits together, you end up with the equivalent of 4 bits of information. This is because there are now 4 possible combinations of 1 and. But when you put 2 qubits together, we know that each bit will represent either a 1 or a 0. So regardless of the combination, you have 2 bits of information. But when you put 2 qubits together, you end up with the equivalent of 4 bits of information. This is because there are now 4 possible combinations of 1 and 0, because each qubit has the potential to be both values at the same time. So instead of just being 1 and 0, the pair could also be 0 and 1 or 1 and 1 or 0 and 0, all at the same time. If this is starting to sound familiar, then that's probably because you're already a quantum physicist, or you've heard about a thought experiment called Schrödinger's cat. The basic explanation of Schrödinger's idea is that you could take a cat and put it in a box, then put something else in the box that could potentially kill the cat, like a cup of poison. Then you seal the box. Again, thought experiment, no one put a cat in a box with poison, at least not that we know of. Now, as long as there is no way for us on the outside to know what's happened inside the box, then we have no evidence to suggest that the cat is dead or alive. Maybe it drank the poison, maybe it didn't. My cat eats plastic but refuses to eat chicken. They're unpredictable creatures, and as long as we have no observable method to predict the fate of the cat, then it may be considered simultaneously to be both dead and alive at the same time. This is referred to in quantum physics as a superposition, and it is a state in which our qubits are able to reside. They are two potential outcomes occurring simultaneously. Now, the trick here is that the moment you open the box and check on the well-being of the cat, that superposition collapses back into a binary. The cat will either be dead. The trick here is a superposition the fate of the cat, then it may be considered simultaneously to be both dead and alive at the same time. This is referred to in quantum have no dead or alive. Maybe it drank the poison, maybe it didn't. My cat eats plastic but refuses to eat chicken. They're unpredictable creatures, and as long as we have no observable method to predict the fate of the cat, then it may be considered simultaneously to be both dead and alive at the same time. This is referred to in quantum physics as a superposition, and it is a state in which our qubits are able to reside. They are two potential outcomes occurring simultaneously. Now, the trick here is that the moment you open the box and check on the well-being of the cat, that superposition collapses back into a binary. The cat will either be dead or alive. And the same applies to qubits. They eventually have to pick a side and resolve as either a 1 or a 0, but that time spent in a superposition allows the quantum computer to explore a vast network of potential combinations before arriving at a final answer. This superposition is where the quantum computer gets its power. When you start adding up all of the potential values from the superpositions of multiple qubits working together, then you start to get some pretty staggering numbers. Remember when we said that 2 qubits were able to store 4 possible values, making them equivalent to 4 standard bits? Well, combining just 20 qubits together will produce more than 1 million potential values. The largest quantum computer that exists today that we know of was built by IBM and has over 1,000 qubits of processing power. In 1 decade from now, IBM expects that will increase to 100,000 qubits. Now, what does that mean for you and me? The first thing that we should establish is that quantum computers are not just a better version of our existing computers. They are less of an evolution and more like an alternative mode of transportation. Quantum computers can take us to places that we have never been before, in the same way that your boat can take you places that your car can't drive, but a boat is not an improvement on a car or a substitute. So quantum computing will not be replacing 99% of the jobs that are currently done by existing supercomputers, and you definitely won't be adding one to your existing lineup of personal tech. The most simple reason for this is that in order for a quantum chip full of qubits to actually function, it needs to be held at a temperature as close to absolute zero as physically possible. This is as cold can be. It's colder than the vacuum of space. So in order to even operate a quantum computer, you first need to obtain the world's most powerful freezer. Oh, and even with the necessary cooling system, existing quantum computers can only operate for around 1 second at a time before the qubits lose their superposition state. The second problem is a bit more difficult to wrap your head around, but in simple terms, quantum computers are actually able to make mistakes, and they do it fairly often. This is a bit of a weird one because most of us are not really familiar with computers that make mistakes. Imagine if your calculator just occasionally gave you the wrong answer. And existing quantum computers tend to have error rates that sit between 1 in 100 at worst and 1 in 1,000 at best. It's been speculated that in order for a quantum computer to be truly practical, the error rate needs to be reduced to at least 1 in 1 million. This comes down to the nature of qubits and their superpositions. Each qubit on its own is inherently unstable, and when you begin combining multiple qubits together, that instability will only multiply, essentially meaning that the more capable your quantum computer is, the more likely it will be to make an error. With great power comes great instability. But even with this factor of unpredictability taken into account, it is still more than possible for existing quantum computers to solve math problems in a matter of seconds that would take a conventional computer thousands of years to complete. This actually has the potential to become a really big problem. But is it one that you should be worried about? Most iPhone users probably missed this announcement, but in February 2024, Apple revealed that iMessage had been cryptographically upgraded with post-quantum security, meaning that even a sophisticated quantum computer attack would not be able to brute force hack your iMessage account, which is good news, but it also demonstrates that Apple has enough concern about the potential quantum of hacking to take it seriously. And Apple is one of the leaders in this current move towards quantum-safe encryption, which means that there are still plenty of online services that you probably use that have not taken the same measure. That includes emails, bank accounts, cloud storage, even cryptocurrency wallets like Bitcoin that are literally built on cryptography. It's in the name. These private keys can be brute force hacked by quantum computers. One of the biggest problems we have right now is that the arms race towards quantum supremacy is not being won by the United States. This is an area where China has taken the early lead. They have the largest quantity of powerful and stable quantum computers. In 2020, then-President Donald Trump announced that the US government would be spending $1 billion per year on quantum computing in America. By 2022, the Chinese Communist Party had committed $15 billion per year for their own quantum development. So that is a bit scary, but is there anything that any of us normal people can really do about it? Well, not really, but it's maybe worth keeping an eye on which services you use that are upgrading to post-quantum encryption, and if it's something that you're concerned about, then maybe consider switching to services with higher levels of encryption. It's not a fun thing to think about, but this is the world we live in. Now, I want to leave you with something fun to think about: the potential importance of quantum computers for doing good things. Things so immeasurably good that they will change the course of human history towards the science fiction Star Trek utopian future that has so far only been dreamed about. If there's one thing that our existing computer systems are really lacking, it would be an ability to understand nature and the physical world. Traditionally, computers have been pretty bad at grasping very important concepts like biology and weather. For example, we can't cure cancer because we still do not understand cancer. 20 years ago, scientists were able to map the human genome with help from supercomputers of the time. It was an amazing accomplishment, but even with vastly more powerful machines available ago, grasping very important concepts like biology and weather. For example, we can't cure cancer because we still do not understand cancer. 20 years ago, scientists were able to map the human genome with help from supercomputers of the time. It was an amazing accomplishment, but even with vastly more powerful machines available, scientists were able to map the human genome with help from supercomputers of the time. It wasn't cure cancer because we still do not understand cancer. 20 years ago, scientists were able to map the human genome with help from supercomputers of the time. It was an amazing accomplishment, but even with vastly more powerful machines available in the modern day, we are failing to make meaningful breakthroughs in medical science. One of the biggest problems here is that forces of nature like diseases and viruses also operate on the quantum level, just like the qubits, and that means that they have their own superpositions where subatomic particles within the virus are existing in multiple states simultaneously, meaning that just like Schrödinger's cat, their problems here is that forces of nature like diseases and viruses also operate on the quantum level, just like the qubits, and that means that they have their own superpositions where subatomic particles within the virus are existing in multiple states simultaneously, meaning that just like Schrödinger's cat, there is no right answer until we open the box. And when it comes to opening the box on the nature of life, the universe, and everything, we need to be able to meet nature on its own level, which goes all the way down to the foundation of the atoms that make up the universe. Nature is operating at the quantum scale, and that's where we need to go in order to finally understand it. We're not there yet. It might happen in my lifetime, or yours. It might not. But for the first time in the 3 billion year history of life on Earth, we are pretty close to figuring it all out. And that in itself is a pretty amazing thing to be around for.
With Google Workspace, Calendar lets you share your latest availability, so customers can book time on your calendar without any back and forth. That's appointment scheduling made easy with Google Workspace.
Cork, Katie Pavlich, and Tom Shalhoub, and welcome to the Big Weekend Show.
Quantum computers have the potential to be the quantum computers